Alors, merci d'être venus. Nous vous souhaitons tous bienvenue. Welcome to everybody here. Welcome to everybody to African Day program of May 11, 2024. Bienvenue à tous. En ce jour de mai, le 11 mai 2024, pour célébrer African Day program. This is the third annual African Day, Pan-Africanism, building the movement in the diaspora. Voilà, ça c'est le troisième ou la troisième cérémonie annuelle célébrant le panafricanisme et puis les mouvements de la diaspora. C'est de reconstruire ou construire les mouvements de la diaspora ici au Vermont, aux États-Unis. Voilà, nous avons un programme. On devait en principe commencer à 4 heures juste, mais nous avons connu un petit retard parce que les invités sont un peu en retard. Mais on se comprend, il y a des responsabilités, ça se comprend. We should be starting the ceremony since 4 o'clock, but there is some of people who are late, but we understand people have many responsibilities. And we welcome everybody because we see some of people coming in. Welcome everybody. Okay. To begin, or to start the ceremony, I have some words to say about the ceremony of today. But before that, we're trying to invite the young African people who's going to be performing some dances here. On va inviter la danse des jeunes adolescents of AALV, African Association Living in Vermont. Is going to try to perform some dances from the young people. We invite them to take place. This is the time to try to put everybody in the ceremony, everybody in de l'ambiance, dans l'ambiance que nous sommes en train de vivre à ce moment. Donc, nous invitons les jeunes de AALV de pouvoir venir performer la danse, de pouvoir danser pour nous, pour introduire la cérémonie d'aujourd'hui. Je pense que tout le monde est content. I think everybody's happy tonight. Everybody's happy tonight. Who's happy tonight? You can raise your hands. Yeah, are you happy? Yes, we are all happy. We are all happy tonight. Nobody is sad. We are all happy. It's a happiness day. It's a very happy day for all of us. So we try to be together. We have a very long program. I'm going to tell you after we invite African group of AALV to start performing this dance. Welcome to you, young adolescent people from AALV. You are invited. On peut applaudir. Applaudissons pour nos jeunes gens de l'association africaine Living in Vermont. DJ, accompagne nos jeunes gens avec la musique pour l'entrée. Merci.
Loin de toi, c'est l'enfer. Loin de toi, je souffre. Pour moi, ça restera toujours bouillé. Comment je peux laisser ça se briser? Recommence à zéro, recommence à zéro. Amour, la meilleure maman. Pour toi, j'ai tout donné, mais toi, t'as tout gâché. On aura même ma vie pour que toi, mon bébé. Moi, la vie, moi, reviens, mon bébé. Pour toi, j'ai tout donné, mais toi, t'as tout gâché. On aura même ma vie pour que toi, mon bébé.
Ok, c'est l'entrée de nos jeunes adolescents de AALV. Allez, bienvenue, vous pouvez rentrer. Venez dans la salle, venez danser pour nous. Vous êtes bienvenus, nos jeunes gens des associations africaines qui habitent au Vermont. African Association Living in Vermont. C'est à vous l'antenne. Faites votre entrée s'il vous plaît. DJ.
Encore une fois, je me livre, le cas choisi de laisser. Une page se tombe dans mon livre, et un mort m'a laissé. Je t'aimais à mourir, mais j'ai fini mal aimé. Sans toi, j'ai du mal à vivre. Dis-moi qui a eu tort, qui s'endort plein de remords. Nanani, nayomi, je t'aime jusqu'à la mort. Oh, oh, oh. Venez là, mon bébé. Zona.
They're trying to get a connection with the DJ for the music. Bientôt ils vont faire leur entrée. Il fallait coordonner un peu avec les DJ pour la musique qui va leur permettre d'entrer. Je pense que tout est correct maintenant. Voilà, les adolescents sont là. Ils ont déjà commencé à entrer. Ils ont déjà commencé à danser. Vous pouvez les voir. Ils sont là à la porte d'entrée là. C'est un jour de joie. C'est a happy day today. Africa Day. We are proud to be African. We are proud to be American. We are proud to be here in Vermont. Nous sommes fiers d'être africains, on est fiers d'être américains, on est fiers d'être les habitants des Vermont. Our new community. Encourageons nos jeunes gens, s'il faut applaudir, il faut applaudir. Applaudissons. Voilà. Adolescents de AALV, Adolescents African Association Living in Vermont. Ils sont en train de faire les rentrées. Voilà. Ils sont belles. Ils sont belles. Elles dansent bien. They are very beautiful. Dancing very good. Avec une chorégraphie bien suivie et bien préparée. Voilà. Bien. Ça a été bien préparé. Ils sont habillés en noir. Avec la carte d'Afrique au défense. Africa Day, t-shirts. With their message. This is the name day. We are so proud to be African and we are very happy. And some of them, they have Congolese flag with them. Certains d'entre eux, elles portent le drapeau congolais de la RDC, la République démocratique du Congo, du DRC, de la République of the Congo. Voilà. African Day. African. Voilà. Une chorégraphie bien préparée. Pride of you, girls. Pride of you being African, being American, being from the north. Lola, Lola, Lola. Pride of you, girls. Pride to be African. African Day. Happy day today. Obi de la Mokosi. Voilà. Pour les ligues. Avec African Association of Living in the World, AALV, African Association of Living in the World, performing the Blue Days, Africa Day today, May 11, 2024. This is the third annual Africa Day. Pan-Africanism building the movement in the diaspora. Collaboration avec New American Public Health Initiative. Bravo! Applaudissons pour nos jeunes gens. Applaudissons pour nos jeunes filles. Bravo! Félicitations. Congratulations, girls. Very proud of you. Merci, merci les filles, merci pour la performance, merci pour la danse, merci pour l'ambiance. Et nous continuons à souhaiter bienvenue à tout le monde, même à ceux qui sont venus en retard. Welcome to this third annual Africa Day. So before we continue our program, I have some words to talk to you about today's date. Avant qu'on continue, j'ai quelques mots sur le papier, je dois lire, pour essayer de faire comprendre à tout le monde qui est ici, to try to make everybody understand why we are here, the reason why we are here. we're here to celebrate. La raison pour laquelle nous sommes ici, c'est pour célébrer. Célébrer quoi? What are we celebrating today? Is Africa Day program today. Is the 3rd annual Africa Day, the Pan-Africanism, building the movement. S'il vous plaît, votre attention s'il vous plaît, il y a un peu de bruit dans la salle. The 3rd African Day. What can we say? The Pan-Africanism is in essence of movement of ideas and emotions. It is a social and political vision, a philosophy, and a movement that seeks to unify Africans in Africa and members of the African diaspora into a global African community, and that calls for the political unity of Africa. For the founders of Pan-Africanism, there is an African personality common to all black men and women. This black personality contains specific value of wisdom, intelligence, activities, and sensitivity. En français, et ça c'était en anglais, comme nous avons dit, la cérémonie est bilingue. La cérémonie is bilingual. La version française de ce que nous venons de lire, c'est quoi? Le panafricanisme est par essence un mouvement d'idées et d'émotions. Il s'agit d'une vision spéciale, une vision aussi sociale et politique, d'une philosophie et d'un mouvement qui cherche à unifier les Africains d'Afrique et les membres de la diaspora africaine au sein d'une communauté africaine mondiale et qui appelle à l'unité politique de l'Afrique. Pour les fondateurs du panafricanisme, il existe une personnalité africaine commune à tous les hommes et femmes noirs. Cette personnalité noire renferme des valeurs spécifiques de sagesse, d'intelligence et de sensibilité. Le panafricanisme, c'est un mouvement, c'est une idéologie politique qui promet l'indépendance totale du continent africain et encourage la pratique de la solidarité entre les Africains et les personnes d'ascendance africaine, où qu'ils soient dans le monde, indépendamment de leur origine ethnique, leur appartenance religieuse ou leur apparence physique. Voici quelques-uns des pères fondateurs du panafricanisme. We have a list of some of the people we call the Pan-Africanists, and we have the list here. We're not gonna take all of them. We have a bunch of lists, but we choose just some of them. Then we're gonna try to talk about it, what they did, and we're gonna tell you guys about the names. We have Edward Wilmot Blyden. Nous avons Edward Wilmot Blyden, un éducateur, écrivain et diplomate originaire de Saint-Thomas, île Vierge. He's from Saint-Thomas, île Vierge. He's a diplomat. He's originally from Saint-Thomas, île Vierge. Il a plaidé pour l'unité des Africains et a encouragé la fierté culturelle africaine. And the second one, we have Agnero Fumen. C'est un intellectuel haïtien, il est from Haiti et a écrit le livre, il a written the book, de l'égalité des races humaines en 1885. Equality of human race. He written that book in 1985. Remettant en question les théories racistes de l'époque et plaidant pour l'égalité entre les races. Ça, c'est ce que Agnero Fumen a écrit. We have the third one, Benito Sylvain, un écrivain et activiste haïtien encore, qui a participé à la première conférence panafricaine en 1900 à Londres. Il a défendu l'idée d'une unité africaine. Benito Sylvain is an activist. He's from Haiti. He participated to the first conference, the Pan-Africanism conference at London, and he was defending many ideas about the unity of Africa. The fourth one, we have Webb Dubois, W-E-D Dubois. C'est un sociologue, historien et militant américain. Il a confondé, donc il est le cofondateur du mouvement de la NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, et a plaidé pour les droits civils des Afro-Américains et l'unité pan-africaine. I think all of these people, if you go on the website, you can find what they did a little more than what we're talking right now. This one is just a small word we can talk about them. C'est la synthèse. La synthèse de ce que ces gens-là ont fait par rapport au panafricanisme, par rapport à l'unité, par rapport à la défense du droit des hommes, de l'homme noir et des Africains. Même ceux qui sont venus avant, ici aux États-Unis, même ceux qui sont restés en Afrique. Le cinquième ou la cinquième personne, ou bien notre cinquième panafricaniste, c'est Joel Augustus Rogers. Joel Augustus Rogers, he was a journalist. C'était un journaliste, écrivain, a writer. He was from Jamaica. He is Jamaican American. Qui a documenté l'histoire et la réalisation des Noirs. He did many things, and he writes the story of the performance of black people dans le monde entier, in the world. Il a contribué à la prise de conscience panafricaine. He contributed to the Pan-Africanism movements. Kwame Nkrumah, le dernier, je pense beaucoup entendu parler de Kwame Nkrumah en Afrique. He was the first president of Ghana. Il était le premier président du Ghana, le tout premier président du Ghana, indépendant, de 1960 à 1966, from 1960 to 1966. Et c'est un fervent défenseur du panafricanisme. Beaucoup d'entre nous ont entendu parler de Kwame Nkrumah en Afrique. He was defending strongly the Pan-Africanism in Africa. Il a joué un rôle clé dans la décolonisation africaine et a plaidé pour l'unité du continent. He did a lot of things. He was trying to defend many African rights, and he worked hard to promote independence of many countries in Africa. So this is what we can talk to you now about the Pan-Africanism. And during this ceremony, we're going to have people who are going to try to talk to us a little more about why we're here and what we're doing here and how we can celebrate. Today's day is Africa Day. Proud to be African, yes we are. Proud to be American, yes we are. So it's Africa Day, it's a happy day today. Together with New American Public Health Initiative, we welcome you and we're going to continue with our program. Merci beaucoup.
Hello everyone. So I'm gonna speak in 3 languages. First, I'm gonna start in Swahili. Amujambo. Amujambo. Eske tuko na furaha? Alikama tuko na furaha, tupandishe mikono yulu. Aksanti. Katikati yetu tuko na mgeni wa mkubwa sana. Yeye iko mayor wetu wa sasa ya mji ya Burlington. Jina yake iko mayor wa 43 katika mtaa yetu ya Burlington, na yeye alifurahi kukuya kusherekeana na sie, na iko hapa na jamaa yake. Alors aujourd'hui nous allons accueillir la nouvelle maire de la ville de Burlington, 43e maire de la ville de Burlington, qui est avec nous, et on va la présenter d'un moment à l'autre. Alors, en lingala, tolobi boye, lelo tozali ko sepela mukolo ya Africa Day. Donc, ezali jour oyo ba créaki pona unité ya Africa. Alors, tozali ko yamba lelo maire ya sika ya Burlington azali katikati na biso. Agote maer moko. So it's my pleasure to welcoming the 43 mayor of the current mayor of the city of Burlington, who won the election because you guys did vote her, probably. I said probably. So her name is Emma Milvane Stenek. I don't know if I pronounce it well. Okay. Alors,
c'est la maire de la ville de Burlington. Applaudissons encore une fois les plus.
Thank you. That's the best introduction ever sound that I've ever received. Hello everyone, my name is Emma Mulvaney Stanek and I am the new mayor of Burlington, Vermont. And I've been the mayor for about 1 month now, but this community center in particular, I consider my second home. My family's here with me today, Elliot, Ruby, and my wife, Megan. And it's our second home because we have had our children at Robin's Nest, which is a child care center right next door. And the reason why I love this building so much is it truly is such a heartbeat of our community. It's a heartbeat of the Old North End. There's AALV, which I know is a sponsor here today, the Caroline Fund. So many different organizations, the Family Room, have been in this building, and it's a great expression of community, which I think is, by extension, what Africa Day is all about, is really embracing and celebrating our entire community, which include, of course, all of you, our immigrants and refugees, our neighbors, our Vermonters. And so the other thing I am just so grateful for, because now in the city of Burlington, everyone can vote. Every single person can vote, regardless of whether you are a US citizen. If you are a resident here, if you live here, you can vote. And the reason why that's important as the mayor is that we can make sure that your voice is heard, that it's counted, and that we can make sure that we are being responsive to what you need. So I'm so pleased to be here. I'd love to come back every year because now I know it's an annual event. And thank you so much for your warm welcome. And I look forward to meeting all of you. Thanks so much.
Applaudissons pour la maire de la ville de Burlington. Merci. Et nous vous souhaitons un heureux et succès mandat pour notre ville de Burlington. We hope you the best. Merci. Ça, c'était notre maire de la ville de Burlington. Et après la parole prise par la maire de la ville de Burlington, nous allons inviter quelqu'un. Je vais d'abord les présenter et puis je vais l'inviter à prendre la parole. Il s'appelle Monsieur Nilus Kinuani. Je ne sais pas s'il peut se mettre debout, comme ça on va le voir parce que je vais parler de lui. Applaudissons pour Monsieur Nilus Kinuani. Monsieur Nilus Kinuani est ici avec nous ce soir. Who's Monsieur Nilus Kinuani? Monsieur Nilus Kinuani is a community leader and human rights advocate. Nilus is the federal policy manager for African communities together. En abréviation ACT. He is the largest member-based organization of African immigrants in the United States. Nilus is also currently serving as the board director and immigration coordinator for the Congolese community of Washington Metropolitan, CCWM. Nilus is also an author. C'est un auteur. Il écrit des livres. His last article, son dernier livre, titled Temporary Protected Status Could Save Congolese Lives, was published in July 2023 by the Afro-Magazine. We have a website for that. If you go to that website, we can give it to you later if you want. You can see us or you can see Jules. We're going to give you the website and then you can try to know a little more about Nilus. And Nilus is leading a humanitarian campaign for the designation of the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, for temporary protected status, TPS. Nilus is also active in DRC, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo politics. Il est très actif là-bas aussi. Nilus participated in the last parliamentary election. Il a participé aux élections parlementaires dernières in the DRC, en République démocratique du Congo, in December 2023. So just last year, a few months ago, about 5-6 months ago. And he was a candidate also at the Funa district in the capital city in Kinshasa. Il était aussi candidat à ces élections-là. Nilus started his career as an immigration specialist at Erickson Immigration. C'est là où il a commencé sa carrière. Group of leading immigration law firm in Arlington, Virginia. And quickly, Nilus ascended to the role of the legal and government affairs manager, where he leads the development and management of the firm government affairs program. After leaving the firm, Nilus worked as an immigration consultant for the tech giants Amazon. Nilus holds a bachelor degree in criminology, law, and society from the George Mason University, and he is currently pursuing a doctorate in law. Il est en train de suivre ou de poursuivre ses études en doctorat en droit. In addition to his professional and academic achievements, Nilus generously volunteers as an English teacher at St. Mark's Catholic Church in Vienna, Virginia, helping adults immigrants, students integrate into American society by teaching them essential English studies, skills. So, c'est un grand travail qu'il fait pour aider la communauté congolaise à Washington, à Virginia. Et il enseigne aussi les adultes qui arrivent de l'Afrique. Quand vous venez aux États-Unis, vous ne connaissez pas l'anglais. Lui, il est là, il fait aussi ce travail-là comme bénévolat pour enseigner aux gens à comprendre certains la langue anglaise, bien sûr, parce que nous sommes dans une communauté là où, si on vit avec beaucoup de langues, mais ici on parle anglais, on parle espagnol, mais nous sommes focus plus avec l'anglais, et lui il est là pour enseigner. Alors nous allons inviter notre ami, notre frère, Nilus, de pouvoir se présenter devant nous, et s'il a un mot à nous dire, il va intervenir. Applaudissons pour lui. Donc, tout ce que je venais de dire ici, c'est à propos de lui. Il est là devant nous. Welcome to our community.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. So I speak 4 languages, but I'll stick to English for now. So, hello everybody. I'm gonna talk about Pan-Africanism. What is Pan-Africanism and how does that impact, or what does that have to do with the diaspora, right? You have Pan-Africanism and then you have the diaspora. So what is the connection there? So we talked, the moderator talked about all the great leaders, the Pan-Africanists throughout history. And one of my favorites is Kwame Nkrumah. And it's so funny because I just finished reading his book, Africa Must Unite. And that's a book that I would recommend to everybody, or people that are interested in learning about how Pan-Africanism really evolves on the continent. So, one thing to establish, and something that Nkrumah showed in his book, is that the diaspora has been able to influence the changes, revolution, and changes on the African continent. And that really speaks to the role that the African and all the diasporas in the US or throughout the world, the responsibility and the role that we have to play in our own respective individual countries. Nkrumah explained that the other Pan-Africanists here in the US, Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, they inspired him to pursue the independence fight in Ghana and in a lot of African countries. So there we can see that the way the two worlds were connected, how the diaspora was able to inspire, because these Pan-Africanists from the diaspora, they wrote a lot about the need for independence on the continent. They need to end colonial power on the continent. And then the people back home on the continent were inspired by the work of those Pan-Africanists in the diaspora. So today, that's a call, and that's a call to all of us in the diaspora, that we should reflect on our role in addressing the challenges of the continent, the current challenges of the continent. But one thing also that I wanted to point out is the fact that we need to think about, because Pan-Africanism is the unity of our continent, the unity of our countries, our people, and in that scheme, Nkrumah presented two models of Pan-Africanism that I think we should consider and think about as we think about our role in addressing the current challenges on the continent. The first one is the political unity. And the second one is the economic unity. Under the economic unity, Nkrumah explained that and this was spearheaded by the president of Morocco, the king of Morocco, Mohammed V. And for him, is that African unity should be restricted, should be limited to trade, to commerce between individual countries. And on the other hand, Nkrumah was a proponent of political unity. And Nkrumah explained that if we unite on commerce and trade without uniting on policies, we will get stuck somewhere. For the cooperation, the unity, the collaborative work of African countries to be successful, there should not only be unity in how we trade and how we conduct commerce, but also in our policies. And we have to look at how our policies can be merged so that we can achieve success. And Nkrumah showed the example that on the other continent throughout the world, the only way they achieved success was through unity. He showed how Europe, for example, Europe was able to achieve the success that we're seeing now through a union, which we now refer to as the European Union. And the United States is another example that they were able not only to merge commerce, to merge trade, but also to merge policies. And when you merge policies and you build a complete unity. And that's something, that's a model that today we need to reflect on. What will be the Pan-Africanism, the unity model that our continent should embrace, should adopt? And I'll leave it as food for thought. But also, we have to reflect on the current challenges of our continent. Again, Kwame Nkrumah played his role, and then the challenge in that time was the need for independence, the need to end colonial power. But what are the challenges that we are facing now, that the continent is facing now, and then that the diaspora can help solve, can help address? As the moderator said, I have the benefit of being involved in both US politics and DRC politics. So, again, as I ran for office in DRC last year, and I must tell you that we, the continent, the DRC, and the continent of Africa is facing serious challenges. And those challenges are primarily rooted in corruption and nepotism. If the challenge 40 or 50 years ago was the end of colonial power, was independence, today the challenge is to eradicate, to end corruption and nepotism. So we have to think about our role as the diaspora in addressing those issues, in eradicating those issues, because those are preventing our continent from developing, from serving the needs of our people there. And we don't talk much about that, but you know, the suffering of our people back home in Africa affect us in one way or another. Like every day we have to get phone calls from family members that are suffering, and that we have to help them. But the same way that the Pan-Africanists, the Garvey, Dubois were able to influence the change in Africa back in the 60s, I invite us today to think about ways we can influence not only politics, but even business, the way we can influence what's happening on the continent. And that's why I made that decision to go and run for office back home, because I think we have that huge responsibility. So we have to think about that. Today, a few facts that I wanted to highlight with you is the fact that if we do not address those issues, nobody will do. If the African diaspora does not talk about the issues that the continent is confronted with, nobody will talk about that, right? So, for example, in the DRC, my home country, the DRC is now going through the deadliest armed conflict since World War II, with over 10 million dead, and many more displaced. That's the deadliest since World War II. Nobody talks about that. And when I present that as a fact, and I ask people to Google, you can just Google the number of casualties in the Congo War versus the World War II, World War I or World War II. You see that the number of casualties in the DRC is really staggering, is appalling, is really, that conflict need attention. Also, Sudan. Sudan is going also through one of the deadliest also armed conflict on the continent, right? We have over 8 million people that have been displaced in Sudan. You have 2 million children that are suffering from malnutrition. So we have to talk about those issues. And it's our responsibility to think about ways we can contribute to the solutions. And part of my work with the community involves, or a lot of my work with the community involves advocacy. And recently we have undertaken this advocacy campaign for immigration status for African immigrants in the US. And again, immigration is a hot topic now. Everybody's talking about immigration. And we believe that the African immigrants have contributed or continue to contribute tremendously to our economy. Mayor is there, and she can attest to the contributions of African immigrants to the US, to the US economy, to the cities and the states. So it's important, and then our advocacy, our campaign is that given those contributions and given the tough, the dangerous, the unsafe conditions on the continent, in Africa, African immigrants should be given some relief, especially those who are undocumented, those who do not have permanent status. So that's why we have undertaken the campaign for temporary protected status. And temporary protected status is a legal status that is granted to immigrants whose home countries are going through war, natural disasters, and other unsafe and dangerous conditions. And we believe that, for example, the DRC having one of the deadliest armed conflict since World War II, Congolese immigrants deserve temporary protected status. Essentially, the idea is that no Congolese immigrant should be deported to the DRC, given the unsafe and dangerous conditions in the DRC. We're doing the same thing for Sudan. The war in Sudan is so devastating, and our argument is that no Sudanese should be deported, given the unsafe and dangerous conditions in Sudan. Recently, we won that campaign for Ethiopia, and we made the same argument. Ethiopia is still recovering from the civil war, armed conflict, and our argument is that Ethiopians should not be deported to those countries. And what we also want is to bring social justice into immigration. We see when the war started in Afghanistan, in Ukraine, how President Biden moved very quickly to give that type of relief to Ukrainians, to Afghans, which is great, right? It's beautiful. but we want that to be extended to African immigrants, right? Given the contributions, given the contributions that we make to the American society, the American economy. So I really urge you to join this campaign. I will close with some remarks on unity. Unity is very essential today. I talked earlier about corruption and nepotism on the continent, and one way we can address that is through unity. We need to be united. We need to merge our efforts together, because the challenges that are ahead of us, the challenges that we face are great, and we will not be able to achieve success, to overcome those challenges without unity. So I will share my contact information so if people want to support our efforts. But thank you so much. I'm not sure if the moderator had planned to have some questions, but I'm here. You can find me, and again, happy to connect with everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kinuani. Everybody heard what he's doing. Very amazing job for African people. Thank you so much. Yes. We are proud of you. We are proud to be African. We are proud to be American. We are proud to be here in Gabon. So, merci beaucoup. Nous invitons nos sœurs burundaises, africaines, to perform the dance. DJ, à toi l'antenne. We invite our ladies, our girls, our children from Burundi to perform a dance here. And we will ask the DJ to play the music for them. Merci beaucoup. Nous allons suivre la bonne danse, la bonne musique, une bonne performance de nos sœurs burundaises. Africa is on the top tonight. Nous sommes unis, nous sommes ensemble. C'est l'Afrique et c'est l'Afrique encore.
Amen.
That was amazing, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. DJ, José. Voilà. En attendant que nous puissions inviter Mr. Jacob, we want to invite Mr. Jacob, the president of AALV, African Association Living in Vermont. He has something to tell us. Nous invitons aussi M. Nilus de prendre place devant, Miss Kinuani, parce qu'après M. Jacob, le président de l'association africaine Living in Vermont, AALV, nous allons procéder à une discussion, questions-réponses. Nice va répondre à certaines questions juste après Jacob. Jacob, vous avez la parole. Bienvenue.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank all of you for taking your time to attend this event today. This is the third year that we are organizing the Africa Day, but this would not have been possible without the tremendous support of the following organizations and individuals. The Caroline Foundation, Sandy just stepped out. Towards Freedom, represented here by Robin Dior. She has put a lot of effort to start the first event 3 years ago and continue to support us through this journey. But also sharing news from the underdeveloped world with a newspaper. Sometimes events in Far West countries are not highlighted in this country. Anything that's happening are things that can catch people's attention. But the war in Sudan, the war in Congo, what is happening in West Africa between Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso with extremist groups that are displacing people are not always known by the rest of the world, except hardworking volunteers who are giving their lives to save and give something back to those who are suffering. And also the VICCI, the Vermont International Community for International Involvement. So we would like to really thank you for all your contribution, and we hope that you will continue to support us through this journey. I want also to thank WILPF, the Women International League for Peace, with his Burlington branch that is also involved in this journey. And finally, I want to thank the city of Burlington. William Albany, thank you so much for all your contribution. And thank you also to all of you Burlingtonians who have made this event possible. Thank you. Je disais tantôt que cela faisait déjà la 3e année que cet événement a commencé. Et cela n'aurait pas été possible sans la contribution d'individus et d'organisations ici présents. Je parlais tantôt de Caroline Fond, représentée par Saint-Libert, Tours Freedom, représentée ici par Robin Dior, l'Association internationale pour l'implication communautaire et aussi la Ligue internationale des femmes pour la paix et la liberté de Burlington ici et l'Association des Africains qui ont se sont toujours impliqués pour commencer cette journée il y a 3 ans, mais aussi voir comment elle peut être étendue. Mais aussi dire merci à la cité de Burlington à travers son maire ici représenté et à vous tous aussi qui avez pris la peine pour participer à cet événement. Merci. Merci.
Voilà, on applaudit pour Jacob, le président de l'association africaine. Merci. Nous avons encore M. Nils Kinuani qui est devant nous. Il a exposé. He exposed. He told us everything about what he has been doing many years for African people, for the immigration, for the law, for the Pan-Africanism. And he's there in front of us. If you have any question, you can ask. You raise your hands, you choose and you ask question, and he's going to answer. Il est là pour nous. S'il y a des questions, vous pouvez poser des questions. Comme ça, on va avancer. Et après son exposé, ne vous en faites pas, on va passer à la suite du programme que nous avons arrangé. Et puis on va continuer. Et il y aura aussi la musique. Il y aura aussi, je pense, 2 personnes, 2 membres de la communauté qui vont jouer à la musique. Okay, we thank the mayor of Barrington. She's leaving us. We thank her so much. And we want to say bye-bye to her. Bye-bye, mayor. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you. Time for Nilus Kinuani. They dit au revoir, say bye-bye to the mayor, Barrington mayor, and then he's going to be here in the front of us to answer some of the questions regarding immigration law, regarding the Pan-Africanism, regarding the protection of African people for the immigration. Thank you. Préparez vos questions. Si vous avez des questions, vous allez poser des questions à notre cher Nilus Kinuani. Il est là devant nous. Posez-lui des questions si vous en avez. Et puis on va avancer. Merci beaucoup.
Hi everyone. My name is VICII. I am originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I thank Nilus for talking about the impact of the diaspora and in the Pan-Africanism movement. And my question is, because we know a lot of people from the diaspora, usually they go back to their country and sometimes they hold many political positions, and years after years, they continue the same policies that are perpetrating the chaos and all the challenges that he mentioned in their countries. So how can, especially young people who are here, they are studying here, they will be learning they will have a lot of experience. Some of them will go to study law, to study criminology, just like you. How could they also, when they have the ambition to go back to their country, what can they do differently so that they can impact, do something different to change what's going on in their different countries? I know I see there are a lot of countries represented here, and we have many countries in Africa. There's war, there's economic challenges going on, but within position, like people in holding high positions, there are those who have studied in diaspora in Europe, in the United States. So what can young people like this do different so that they can impact their country differently to bring economic development, political development, like bring new policies that can bring change? So that was my question.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to give time to Mr. Nilus Kinuani to answer.
That was a very good question, and I think maybe something that I did not address in my initial remarks is that, well, education is important, right? We need to make sure that our leaders who are going to the continent, they are competent, and then that can lead the continent effectively. So education is definitely important, right? And on the continent, you see a lot of people that are educated from the diaspora. You see a lot of people coming from the US going to the continent to lead there. But education is not enough. And we talked about Kwame Nkrumah, but I'll take it us back to a little bit of philosophy here. There is this French philosopher, Montesquieu. And Montesquieu wrote a very interesting book, The Spirit of the Laws. And most people in law here might have heard about that book. And Montesquieu explained that in addition to competence, in addition to education, you actually need a system of values for any type of government to work. Montesquieu came up with 3 types of government, right? The republic, the monarchy, and autocracy. So 3 types of government that any country can literally have, right? And in each type of government, he recommended there is a leading system of value. In autocracy or dictatorship, the system of value there is based on fear. In a monarchy, the system of values there is based on honor, right? The monarchy system of value consists of honoring people, honoring the king, the prince. But in a republic, the system of values should be based on virtue. And this is very important. For African countries that are trying to adopt democracy, we need to understand what system of value goes with democracy, or what system of value is appropriate, is suited for democracy. You cannot have a republic, a democratic republic, and have a system of value that's based on fear, that's based on corruption. So we collectively need to think about that. What system of value we want to instill in our countries, in our government, in our continent. And virtue, the way Montesquieu broke it down, consists of 2 basic ideas: knowing the law and respecting the law, abiding by the law. So virtue consists of those 2 basic ideas. And then I think that on our continent, we have to, this is why in conversations, those discussions like this are important, that we need to come to an agreement that if we truly want a republican, a republic, if we truly want democratic countries, we need to agree that on the system of values that we will instill, adopt, and uphold in our countries. So going back to your point, people coming from the US going to Africa, those people are educated, those people are competent. But what system of value they are upholding on the continent? Because if they are upholding fear and corruption and nepotism, that will not lead to development. That will not lead to democracy. So I think the biggest challenges is having that system of value in addition to building competency for our leaders. Okay.
Thank you so much, Nils. We have Rubin who has a question. Ask a question to I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Robin Lloyd, and my question is about what's happening in Africa, especially West Africa, that governments are being overthrown, other military people are taking power, and the French military is being thrown out of the countries, the American military is being asked to leave. This is very important. Those one of those countries has the only source of uranium in the country, in the whole continent. So for the United States to leave is very traumatic on a certain level. And my question is, why is this happening, and what's the good part of it and the bad part of it?
We saw it a number of years in with the Arab Spring, right? And Tunisia, Egypt. And revolution is good. Revolution, essentially, changing the way, changing how we want things to, putting in place a system or a government that derives their power from the people. And revolution is good, and you have seen that over history, either in Europe, in America, success and development have been, came from revolution, and it's good. But I think what's happening now in West Africa, and also with the Arab Spring, going back to that, is that we don't think much about what system of government we want to put in place, right? So the revolution is more based on really refuting, opposing the system of government that we have now, the corrupt politicians that we have now. But there is no much thinking and planning on what to do next, right? So, and again, as myself as a candidate to someone being involved in politics, this is what I usually share with people that are running for offices, like I did in December. Right? It's fine that we want to get rid of the bad people, the bad politicians, the corrupt politicians, but what are you proposing? Once they are out, once we remove them, what system of government, system of values that you want to put in place, right? And if we don't think about that, if we don't come to a good agreement on that, it will be a cycle. Because and this is what a typical example now is, even Libya, right? Like, we got rid of corrupt people and a corrupt government. But now what's next? What are we putting in place, right? So I think in Africa, we need to start having conversations, discussions about what system of government that we want to put in place, what's the system of values that we want to put in place, and how do we go about that, and how do we instill that? There is a lot of discussions now, a lot of talks about opposition, getting rid of bad people, bad politicians, but there is very little discussion, very little thinking and planning on what to do next. And I think, look at Burkina Faso, for example, right? Burkina Faso, they have Sankara. And then they have Sankara. And then Sankara left. Sankara made very good, and we can agree on this, that Sankara made very promising, very good changes. He laid a good foundation for the country, right? But then Sankara left. What happened next, right? So we have to come up with, we have to think and put in place a sustainable system of values, system of government that we want to carry, that we want to put in place, not only on the short term, but also long term. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Mama? Yes, you can. Yeah.
I have a very big voice.
Okay. She has a very big voice.
Yeah. So what do you think of what the United States is doing right now in Palestine and helping the Israel with like more than 20 billion to kill and displace and redo what they have done here? With the Indians, they are displacing the Palestinians from their own land.
Thank you so much. And that's why we need to fight. That's what I said, we need to fight. En français, on dit la liberté ne se donne pas, la liberté s'arrache. Je vais dire ça en anglais. So, freedom is not given. Freedom is something you have to fight for. Freedom is not given to you on a silver plate. You have to fight for freedom. So that's why we have to fight. And I think what we're seeing now in Israel or in Gaza, it's the same thing that has been going on in Africa for years, and nobody talks about that, right? It's not in the news. So it's our job as the diaspora to talk about these issues. It's our job to bring this to the attention of our elected officials, our leaders here. Because if we don't, then all the sufferings of our people, the crisis in our respective countries can be easily forgotten. There's just a lot going on, and if we don't talk about it, if we don't bring that to the attention of the government here, it will be forgotten. But also, sorry, just to end there, to close on that. But also, again, we have, in order to fight effectively, we always have to think about what do we want. If today America were to leave the region, then what's next? What are we going to do? That's another question that we need to think about.
Applaudissons. Merci beaucoup. Comme on avait pris deux dames, nous aurons un homme maintenant qui va poser la question. Après, ce sera la dame. We got two ladies before, and then.
Nils, thank you for being here. My question is, there are so many educated Africans here, and they would like to go back and contribute, just like yourself, run to office. But unfortunately, there are many African countries who allow people to go and run for office. Even though you have a great ideas, new philosophies, how the country should run. But most of them will ended up dead or being in jail. So how easy was it for you to convince them, go with your ideas and be able to run for the office? That's my question.
Thank you, that's a very good question. Merci, on applaudit quand même, parce que c'est une bonne question. That's a very good question.
Thank you so much for your question, but I think with my own experience, you have to take a risk. It's just part of the process. You have to take a risk, you have to fight, you have to challenge yourself. It was really a risk, even for myself. If I can share a little bit about my experience, is that I was, so in the district where I ran, there are 11 seats. And there were over 100 candidates. So again, it's competitive for sure. Politics back home is competitive, but also the corruption is really. I think that's the biggest challenge. As far as people going there and getting involved, I think the young folks are thinking about that. They're moving in that direction, but the corruption there is really huge. And what I was saying with my own experience is that out of the 100 candidates, only 11 seats, and then I was among the 5 most elected in my district. But you know what the Electoral Commission did? They removed my name altogether from the list of the people that were announced. And because there was no way for them to manipulate the numbers, they essentially removed me. And when you go through the appeal process, it's all flawed with corruption. So I think that's one thing that we have to really fight about. And I think in our countries, on the continent in Africa, I'm a true proponent of a zero tolerance on corruption, on nepotism. So to answer your question, we have to take risk and then we have to address corruption.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have to take a risk. We have to fight. La liberté, ça s'arrache, ça ne se donne pas. The freedom, you have to fight to get it. Even here in the United States, it's not easy to go to the campaign to try to convince people to vote you. You have to fight. Everywhere is the same. Even if they can talk to you about the democracy, they can talk to you about everything, there is corruption everywhere, even here, even in Africa. Thank you so much. We have the next.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Pamela Williams. I live here in Burlington and involved in education. My question is, you mentioned about how people are going to learn values-based initiation of political systems and how to basically have belonging and community. So what I'm interested to know is, where are the opportunities for people to practice that in a positive way so that educated youth and also those in the educational systems and also the international arenas, which some people might say are also flawed. But where do you see people being able to have the opportunity to see how these value systems have propelled new international affiliations that can also influence policies and look at the actual corruption and hold accountabilities for what we would say are atrocities?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so very good question. How and where people can practice the system of values that we want to put in place on the continent. I think it starts with our communities. That's why I advocate and I'm a big proponent of building strong diaspora communities here. It starts here. And that's why the values that we want to instill on the continent, we need to start instilling them in our own communities. So it starts there because we are just a reflection of our families, our communities, our surroundings, people that we assemble with. In French, I'll go back to French, say, qui s'assemble, c'est l'ensemble. So if you assemble with people, you look like them eventually, you start looking like them. So it's important for us to build strong communities, community leadership, mentorship programs where people can practice leadership. In my community, for example, I am the youngest leader in the community. So we need to encourage new, young, educated folks to get into community leadership, right? And practice virtue in community, as community leaders. So to answer your question, building strong communities and then having people practice those values in our communities.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just a reminder, we have a lot of food, we have a lot of drink. Don't leave, stay until we finish all of this food, then you can go home. So soon we're gonna eat. Let's continue with some questions, and then I want to make everybody hungry, and then we can see if we can finish the food. Who's next? Okay, nobody, no more questions. Okay, thank you so much. On peut applaudir. On peut applaudir. Il faut pas quitter. Don't leave, please. We're gonna call Robin. The Jules, the CEO of New American Public Health Initiative, has some gifts to give to our guests. We have them here.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Kinuani. You did a good job. We're gonna just say thank you, merci beaucoup. We have a small surprise for you. So this is from Vermonters, Congolese, African people, they live here. So thank you so much. If you can open your gift, it will be better. The sign of Vermont, so. Yes, perfect. From Vermont, okay. Thank you, merci. So as President Jacob said earlier, he did say thank you a lot for the organizers, Robin and Cindy. So, yes, she'll be back soon. Robin, thank you so much. And we are more grateful. You have a good heart, and we are calling you now Mama Africa. So, the small gift I'm gonna give you, so yourself you're gonna open and show to the public. So, we say thank you, merci, accenti, please. We're gonna open, please. Please. So we're gonna count 3, 2, 1, 0. That's a gift. So
that Robin is Mom Africa. We call her Mom Africa now. That's a gift for her.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Robin has something to tell us. Robin's gonna talk to us later. She wants us to eat first. But on va inviter.
And also we have another gift. You guys, you see the African continent, the product they call malachite. You see the green color. Malachite is one of the minerals you can find in Congo, in south of the Democratic Republic of Congo, in Katanga. And in the past, Robin have been in Congo many years ago. So it was maybe 1960 something. So malachite is one of the minerals you can find in south of the Democratic Republic of Congo in Katanga, which now we can find cobalt or they call lithium, which help to make the battery for electrical cars or computers. So everyone would like to take the minerals, so they try to not deal with the government. So there's many things we cannot talk here. And also on behalf of the president of AALV, we have also one small surprise for Sandy. I think Jacob can take it for Sandy. She's a wonderful, powerful woman who helped us for many things here, many years. So we'd like to grateful her too. So for Sandy, Yeah, it's the same gift.
Same gift for sending it to. Here it is. African inside is the Congo. So this is for sending it to give it to them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. And we're going to ask our friend Kinuani to go sit down. He's going to take a rest. And we can invite now, nous invitons our dancers from Burundi to come to perform another dance now. DJ music, the time the table is trying to get ready for us to go eat. They try to set up the table. We have a lot to eat. I'm telling you, I know we're hungry. Everybody's hungry. So DJ music, and we invite our Burundi ladies to come to perform the dance. Thank you. Place is on your hands, Burundi ladies. We invite you to the front here to perform some dances. DJ, Tolik. Accompagner avec les applaudissements, s'il vous plaît. Vous les accompagner avec les acclamations. Happy day, c'est la soirée, c'est la fête. C'est pas Nous allons continuer, la séance de danse continue avec nos teenagers from AALV. Nos adolescents de AALV. Applaudissons! L'entretien, la nourriture est presque prête. Je pense après la danse, on va se servir. Nous irons à table pour nous servir. On va se servir. Too much English. DJ, 3, 2, 1, 0. On va bientôt se servir. N'oubliez pas, there is a lot of food. Demandons déjà au service du protocole de se préparer pour inviter table par table à aller se servir. Service de protocole, préparez-vous déjà inviter table par table après la danse pour aller se servir. Commençons par le table du devant. Bravo, applaudissons. Le service de protocole, j'espère que vous êtes prêts. Le service de protocole, est-ce que le service est prêt pour que la première table à ma gauche puisse aller se servir et puis on va suivre table par table. I am asking the food service if they can invite table by table, the first table on my left side, to go serve themselves the foods. Service de protocole, s'il vous plaît. En attendant, DJ Music.
Lakote, he was working at making that event happen, and it is still going to happen. Just a sec, I just want to read some things. Okay. The Togolese Republic and the African Union will co-organize in Lomé, that's the capital of Togo, the 9th Pan-African Congress next October. The Congress, part of the agenda of the Decade of African Roots and the African Diaspora, focuses on the theme, renewal of Pan-Africanism and Africa's role in the reform of multinational, multilateral institutions. I guess that means the United Nations and the IMF, maybe the World Bank. Mobilizing resources and reinventing ourselves for action. So that's a very exciting goal to have, reinventing ourselves for action. The Pan-African Congress of Lomé is first and foremost a privileged space for Africans living on the continent and outside it in the diaspora and Afro-descendants to question themselves in particular on the issue of their human, political, cultural, social, and societal future in a world that is increasingly unstable, lacking in collective responsibility and concerted governance involving Africa. Through this Congress, African countries will have to reflect on how to invent a form of human association, a political organization, and new visions in order to define what they want and can do for themselves and by themselves, alongside other major players in the world economy and the international political scene. One more sentence. The Pan-African Congress in Lomé will also examine the vision and means by which the development of the continent can best benefit from the capitalization of the skills, expertise, and leadership of the diaspora, that means you, and Afro-descendants. It is a reservoir of potentialities to be transformed into powerful development levers for the continent. So I think this is a pretty exciting invitation to people in the diaspora to think about this Pan-African Congress coming up in October. In fact, we hope to hold a few more, maybe webinars on CCTV to talk about this, and inviting some of you to come and give your thoughts as to how to have input into this new Pan-Africanism. Okay? Thank you.
Applaudissons pour Robin. Thank you so much, Robin, for sharing this with us. Applaudissons pour Robin encore, s'il vous plaît. Elle est parmi, ils sont les sponsors de cet événement aujourd'hui, ce soir. Ce sont eux, ce sont elles qui ont fait que nous puissions nous réunir. Voilà, ils nous ont rassemblés, ils ont mis les moyens pour que nous puissions être ici ensemble avec le panafricanisme, parce qu'elle est Mama Africa. We call her Mama Africa. Bravo pour Robin. Merci Sandy, merci Robin. Yes. Now we're going to invite Sandy, both of them. Sandy aura aussi quelque chose à nous dire ce soir pour cette journée. Sandy, you can speak in French.
I can.
I can, but it would be slow. Lentement.
Okay. Okay, Sandy can speak
No.
English, but a little bit some word in French if she can.
Oui.
Okay, thank you.
Et je m'appelle Sandy Baird et je suis avocate et j'ai le privilège de servir dans l'association des Africains qui vivent en Vermont, oui, sur le 3e étage ici. I want to say I have had the great privilege of being part of the Association of Africans Living in Vermont, that community, this community. I feel very privileged to be among you, to learn so much about Africa, and to try to pressure my government of the United States to leave Africa alone and let Africa prosper. And I feel very happy to be here with you today. And I will do everything I can, je suis politicien aussi, to get the United States off Africa's back. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sandy. Voilà qu'avec ces mots de circonstance pour eux de pouvoir participer à la journée d'aujourd'hui, la journée africaine, African Days, et aussi, ou elles aussi, elles sont proud d'être part of Africa, surtout que vous avez entendu, elles vous ont dit qu'ils ont été en Afrique, ils ont passé des moments avec leurs parents en Afrique, donc c'était une bonne chose. Donc ils connaissent bien l'Afrique, elles connaissent bien l'Afrique, elles connaissent comment nous vivons en Afrique, et elles sont en train de se battre pour contribuer à ce que l'Afrique soit libre en dehors de la gestion des États-Unis, pour que les États-Unis laissent l'Afrique libre, fonctionner comme elles veulent, et puis qu'on puisse promouvoir le panafricanisme encore et toujours. Donc bravo encore pour elle. Et puis les DJ, nous te demandons la musique. Maintenant c'est le temps de danser. Amusons-nous. Je pense que c'est tout ce qui nous reste. Basile. Welcome. Les retardateurs ont tort, mais nous on te donne raison. Donc voilà. DJ, la musique. Merci beaucoup.
So thank you so much. We are almost at the end of our event for today, African Day. We cannot finish our activity without to say thank you so much for the sponsors, Mrs. Robin Lloyd, who helped us to realize this activity, and also Sandy Bird from the Caroline Fund, and also Robin for Toward Freedom. Thank you so much for all brothers and sisters to come to join us. Today it was African Day, so the commemoration of the creation of African Union. So we were together, we did listen to a good presentations. We had a great speaker who came from Washington, D.C. His name is Mr. Kinuani. He's a Pan-Africanist, so he did a great job. So now we would like just to say thank you, merci in French, accent in Swahili, and also we thank Mr. Jacob for AALV who helped us to have this beautiful event. Thank you so much also for our ladies. They make food. It was very delicious food, Congolese food, African food, Ethiopian food. So thank you so much. Hopefully this is the third one. Next year we're gonna do more than today. So thank you so much, and also thank you for our moderator Patrick Fala from Dunia Agency. He did a great job. So thank you also for CCTV Town Meeting, our channel. Also, we thank also the mayor was here with us, Emma. So we said thank you, merci Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Sandy Barrett and I, Robin Lloyd, were so delighted with this gathering tonight and the bringing together of different communities through AALV and through Jules Welchie, and our speaker tonight was right on. So this is our third Africa Day, and perhaps there will be some more. Let's hope so.
Hi, and my name is Sandy Baird, and I feel very privileged and delighted to be here with many people from the African community, and I feel very privileged to be a part of that community, which goes to the very roots of also our American community. So thank you all for being here from AALV, from the African community, and from the New American community.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of this wonderful community, I want to thank you all for coming here today. This is a great event, and we could not do it without your contribution and your involvement. We really want to thank all the guest speakers that came from far and also in town, the city, and all the community members who have contributed, and also to our great program at VICII TV, who has helped us give a voice to this community. It is my hope that this program will continue for years to come, and we'll have a chance to share more about all the issues we are facing throughout the world and try to build a safer, a more inclusive community. Thank you.
We are dancers for AALV, and we're here for the party. So we want to say thank you for inviting us, and then if you guys want us one more time, we're here for you guys. We're free. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be there anytime.